Welcome all. I'm joined today by CivilNet analyst Benyamin Poghosyan. Mr. Poghosyan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
So as you know, news is circulating a lot about this new military checkpoint that Azerbaijan has set up inside the Lachin corridor. This has caused tensions to rise and has led to many analysts describing the blockade, which has been ongoing since December last year on Nagorno-Karabakh, as being finalized or total now. What does this checkpoint, this new military checkpoint, mean in terms of the Nagorno-Karabakh blockade? Why is it being described in these terms?
Okay, first of all, we should understand that Azerbaijan is doing what it promised to do. Let's be very clear, because President Aliyev in his statement, he clearly states that, okay, there should be a checkpoint on Lachin corridor. I believe last time during his meeting with Prime Minister Pashinyan at Munich Security Conference, even Aliyev stated that I offered to establish checkpoint on Lachin corridor and also offered that Armenians can put any checkpoints via this hypothetical route which should connect Azerbaijan with Nakhichevan via Syunik. So frankly speaking, what was Azerbaijanis were doing starting from summer 2022? First, the change of this route, so-called the construction of new highway or new part of or alternative Lachin corridor. Then forcing Armenian Nagorno-Karabakh to give up Berzor, Sus and Agamno. So everything was clear that these guys will do everything to really put Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh into a very different choice. Either take Azerbaijani passports and without any special status, any special rights and any international presence. Or you may live in Nagorno-Karabakh. I believe as recently as on April 18, President Aliyev reiterated his position that, okay, Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh have only two options. Either they should take Azerbaijani passports, no international presence, no special status, no special rights, or simply they can leave Nagorno-Karabakh and go to Armenia or whatever they want. So from this perspective, we have to accept that Azerbaijan is quite consistent in its first planning and then implementing of its plans. Regarding what does it mean for Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, it means that theoretically and practically, every Armenian from Armenia who would like to go to Nagorno-Karabakh can be stopped and will be stopped at this checkpoint. And in the best case scenario, if you will not be beaten, killed, jailed or etc., in the best case scenario, they may say, okay guys, there is a no visa-free regime between Armenia and Azerbaijan. So show your passport, do you have Azerbaijani visa? No. So please get out from here. Or even more, they can say, okay, no problem, there is a no visa-free regime, but please pay like 100 euro and you will get single entry visa to Azerbaijan. They will stick this visa into your passport, will photo your passport and put it in internet, because every person who will agree to get Azerbaijani visa to enter Stepanakert automatically means that this person accepts that Karabakh is Azerbaijan. But this is the best case scenarios. Worst case scenario that simply they can say, okay, according to our information, you participated in war in 2020 or in 2016. And so there were criminal cases against you. So guys, sorry, but you have to be arrested and put in jail in Baku because there was an arrest warrant. And the same may apply for those who would like to travel from Nagorno-Karabakh to Armenia, because we all understand that almost all male population of Nagorno-Karabakh who are 16 plus, they at least served in the defense army, maybe they now serve in defense army, and most probably from Azerbaijani point of view, these all are members of illegal armed units. So I believe that there are thousands of criminal cases opened almost on everyone in Nagorno-Karabakh. So first, every male person can be arrested, or maybe Azerbaijan will say, okay, guys, this is your arrest warrant, but now we are allow you to leave Nagorno-Karabakh. But look, if you will try to come back, this time you will be arrested and put in the Azerbaijani jail. So in reality, it means that it will be very, very difficult for anyone to travel from Armenia to Nagorno-Karabakh. It will be difficult for anyone even to leave Nagorno-Karabakh. And I strongly believe that for anyone who has Armenian passport, but whose address of registration is Stepanakert, Martakert, Martuni, etc., simply these guys will not be allowed to re-enter Karabakh, if not arrested for any arrest warrants.
Okay, and this has also kind of put Russia on the spot. This isn't the zone of responsibility of the Russian peacekeepers. The Russian Foreign Ministry released a statement expressing concern over unilateral steps, but did not notably mention Azerbaijan's specific checkpoint. The Russian peacekeeping contingent in Karabakh put out in its daily bulletin, however, that Azerbaijan's unilateral and unauthorized actions were the cause of this. There was talk about Russia's role in all of this. What is your thoughts about Russia's role?
Okay, there are a lot of theories or discussions or rumors or versions what's happening, starting from that this somehow was agreed between Russia and Azerbaijan for whatever reasons, ending with no, this was not agreed. Okay, frankly speaking, I'm not very much sure that this was agreed between Azerbaijan and Russia, because first of all, this discredited Russia, both in Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh. Okay, maybe we may say that Russia does not care, because maybe Russia thought that or thinks that in any case Armenia will become more and more pro-Western, so they don't care, and they want to keep Azerbaijan, they want to appease Azerbaijan, because they believe that at the end of the day Armenia started the process of gradually moving out from Russia. That is why they now will try to appease Azerbaijan. That is why they are allowing Azerbaijan to do whatever they are doing. But also for me it's clear that if there will be no Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh and no Russian troops in Nagorno-Karabakh, also Russia would lose significant leverage on Azerbaijan. And definitely there are no guarantees that after that Azerbaijan will be neutral or some pro-Russian. So even if Russia believes that, okay, Armenia gradually will leave Russia or gradually is moving closer to the West, there's no logic to appease Azerbaijan by doing steps which will result in having zero Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh and no Russian troops. But also for me it's clear that Russia is not going to start war against Azerbaijan. And obviously we see that it's not only a checkpoint, it's border troops, Azerbaijani, with rifles, maybe there are other arms, and if not through negotiations, another option is to simply use force. But for using force, it will mean that Russian troops are using force against Azerbaijani soldiers in Azerbaijani territory. And this is according to everyone, because even Armenia clearly states that we recognize Azerbaijani territorial integrity within Soviet Azerbaijan borders, which means that this bridge over the Hakkari River, it was part of Soviet Azerbaijan, which means that it's part of Azerbaijan. So for me, it's very difficult to imagine that, or why Russia should shoot or kill or use force against Azerbaijani soldiers in Azerbaijani territory. So it's a very complicated situation. Again, I don't believe that Russia will use force. Frankly speaking, I don't believe that after establishing the checkpoint and also organizing the so-called flag raising ceremony this morning or yesterday, President Aliyev will decide to remove this checkpoint, because it will, for President Aliyev, it will be public humiliation, because a lot of people will ask, okay, if you couldn't assess the situation, that you will be forced by Russia, by US, by France, by whatever. If you are going to be forced and to remove the checkpoint, then you are a complete idiot. So frankly speaking, I don't believe that the checkpoint will be removed, which means that for Karabakh Armenians, situation will become more and more complicated or even close to catastrophe.
Okay, and there was also a more sterner reaction out of Stepanakert, the capital of Nagorno-Karabakh, calling for, intervention, calling for pressure to be applied on Azerbaijan. Can you explain possibly this change of tone coming out of Stepanakert?
Okay, my feeling is, of course, it's very difficult to say what's going on in Stepanakert sitting in Yerevan, but definitely these people are living under almost complete blockade for more than 4 months, and from April 23, almost or fully complete blockade. So for them, I believe they are in a desperate quest for some steps to survive or to be saved. Definitely, I feel that there is a growing also anxiety or disappointment or even resentment also against Russia, because in this statement it was written that, okay, Armenians believed Russia's security guarantees, and because they believed Russia's security guarantees, they returned Nagorno-Karabakh after November 2024. But also it's a very complicated statement, because what does it mean? Okay, if Armenians return to Karabakh only because of Russia's security guarantees, or they believe that Russia's security guarantees are reliable, then let's assume tomorrow Russia is stating that, okay, I'm not able to provide any security guarantees. Does it mean that all Armenians simply should leave Nagorno-Karabakh? Most probably no, because otherwise it seems that the only reason why Armenians are in Nagorno-Karabakh is not that Nagorno-Karabakh is a historical land of Armenians or Armenias in the Armenian land history, civilization, etc., etc. The only reason was that Russia gave security guarantees. So theoretically, if on November 11 Russia would not give security guarantees to Armenians, okay, all Armenians will leave Nagorno-Karabakh and the issue will be closed. But why this is dangerous? Because let's not forget that at the end of the day, Russian peacekeepers' mandate will expire in November 2025. No one can claim for sure that Russians definitely will stay. So question rises, okay, let's assume the checkpoint is there, but Russian peacekeepers are able to provide some humanitarian cargo, and these people, despite in very bad conditions, being under the malnutrition, they still live in Nagorno-Karabakh. Okay, but then if in November 2025 Russian peacekeepers leave, it means that there are no Russian security guarantees, no legal security guarantees. Then question arises, okay, what Armenia as a state and Armenia as a nation are going to do, for example, in December 2025, when there are no Russian peacekeepers, because Russian peacekeepers left in November 2025.
Okay, and I also want to ask, the Russian commander of the peacekeeping contingent in Karabakh, has kind of become a public figure since the 2020 war. There have been different commanders. The latest commander, Volkov, has been dismissed and replaced by Colonel General Lentsov, I believe. What did you think about this development?
Okay, my understanding is that Russia tries to bring new people somehow to stabilize situation. Lentsov, as far as I know, he has a quite long military experience. He participated in Chechen wars in late 1990s, early 2000s. Then also he participated in hostilities in territory of Ukraine in 2014-15. Then he assumed some leadership position in Syria, when in September 2015 Russia started its military operation in Syria to support Assad. And also as of now, or as of yesterday, Lentsov was an advisor to Minister of Defense Shoigu, which means that he has a strong experience both on military hostilities or to command the military activities, but also to have some negotiations, because at least in Syria it was not only about war, it was also about very complicated negotiations, including negotiations on the ground with Turkey-related forces, Saudi Arabia-related forces, and etc. So my understanding is that by bringing Lentsov, Russia somehow seeks to stabilize situation. Will it be helpful? We will see.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Poghosyan, I want to ask, it seems like a very dire situation. You spoke about Russia, Azerbaijan saying no status, no democracy, etc. What should Yerevan and Stepanakert do in the face of all this?
Okay, it's a very complicated question. For example, if Armenia would like to somehow put real pressure on Azerbaijan, the last 2 years showed that the knocking doors of Russia, EU, US, or even International Court of Justice, it did not help, because, we have a ICJ decision on February 22, which clearly stated that Azerbaijan should do everything to open the corridor or allow the free movement for people. More than 2 months passed, Azerbaijan did nothing, and then now it established checkpoint, which means that clearly Azerbaijan is saying that I don't care what ICJ is telling. And despite the fact that these ICJ decisions are mandatory, but what does it mean they are mandatory? It means that if they are not being implemented, someone, in this case individual states or international organizations, should force the country or the state to implement the decisions. No country is putting any real pressure on Azerbaijan, because all these statements that we are concerned, we believe that Azerbaijan is doing bad things, in real geopolitics they cost nothing. Because, for example, yesterday, Chief of European Foreign Policy, Mr. Borrell, he made a statement saying that no, by doing this, Azerbaijan is decreasing the chance of peace, etc., etc. But on the same day, President of Azerbaijan was in Bulgaria, EU member state, and he signed a new agreement for gas delivery to several southeastern European countries. He met with Bulgarian presidents; they were very happy. So and Azerbaijan understands all this, that what is Borrell is doing or is putting statements on Facebook, in real life, it's mean almost nothing. While the real life is when you are signing a contract with more European countries and receiving more money from EU. So from this perspective, again, knocking the doors of international community or individual countries did not bring any real tangible results since November 2020. But then the question arises, does Armenia has possibility to poke Azerbaijan with other language, like to telling, okay guys, I give you ultimatum of 72 hours. Either you are moving your checkpoint, or Armenian army will destroy your checkpoint. Of course, if Armenia issues such ultimatum and then it will try to do this ultimatum, it means new Armenia-Azerbaijan war. Is Armenia ready for new Armenia-Azerbaijan war? I'm not sure, but this is also like a question which should be asked to our political military leadership. But again, if we believe that we are not able to force Azerbaijan to do anything, the other options that let's use international community or individual countries to force Azerbaijan to do something also prove non-reliable.
Okay, well, Benyamin Poghosyan, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.